Welcome back. Thank you so much for returning. And we got a great, actually positive video today. It turns out that the Mets are interested in a former MVP player, 25-year-old. Who is this guy? Well, this guy, it turns out to be a Korean sensation, Jung Hoo Lee. And I'm just actually pretty enamored and shocked that this guy has accomplished so much at a very, very young age. Guy, defensive stud, guys supposedly is the Korean version of Tony Gwynn, trying to find any negatives about this guy. A lot of positives. So we're going to go over this guy. We're going to go over what he could bring to the Mets. And we're going to go over an actual scouting report. And we're going to find out more about this phenom that potentially the Mets could sign. So Jung Hoo Lee is a guy who is going to be posted very soon. That means the Mets will have an opportunity to sign him. They have a 30-day window. But actually, first, before we get into the video, as always, if you can continue to support our channel, I personally love what I do. If you can like and subscribe, just so you stick around for the content in the future. All right, so to get into this video, who is Jung Hoo Lee? And like I said, he has no apparent weaknesses in my eyes. There's one I'm going to talk about, but in my eyes, he's got no apparent weaknesses. The guy is a developing sensation. He's a freaking 5-time Gold Glove winner in Japan. He's a center fielder. The guy is he wakes up to hit. There are some people who are born to hit. This is a guy who seems like he was born to hit. The guy's got a nice, sweet swing, very explosive. It looks like he's got a bit of an open stance, but he can explode on the ball. He's got a very quick swing. For me watching the highlights, it looks like high pitches at the letters. Basically, this guy can hit him with the best of them. Went down in the dirt. He's got a sweet looking swing. More right now, it looks like he's more of a pull hitter power-wise, but the guy's got a lot of potential. I mean, wouldn't you love to put a guy like that in the Mets outfield? I mean, Nimmo was the only guy who hit 20 home runs. And I'm going to just give you some of Lee's statistics from his most recent, MVP year. And folks, I'm very excited about this guy. I don't know what the competition is out there, but just so you know, this is what he did in 2022. The guy hit, first of all, the guy in 7 freaking seasons, 884 games, has a career batting average of 340. Now, I don't care what league this is, this guy can hit. He can hit. And as he was growing up, as he was developing, power seemed to be always an issue. But if you look at his swing and how it's been developing, and if you listen to the scouting report that I'm going to read to you, you will feel more comfortable about his power problem or power opportunities. So in 2022, the year that he won the MVP, he hit 23 home runs, 113 RBIs. He batted a whopping 349, an on-base percentage of 421, slugging 575, and an OPS of 996. I mean, I know this is the KBO, this is not the Major League Baseball, but this guy has shown ability, has shown great ability. Not to mention, like I said, he's got 5 Gold Gloves, so you know he will add a defensive element, and usually that defense translates to the ML. So what I'm trying to say is I can't really identify any negatives to him. The power seems to have come on late. He seems like he's a run producer. Obviously, he's an average guy. The only thing that I see right here is he doesn't really steal a lot of bases. He could swipe about 10 bags a year, but the guy seems amazing. But don't take it from me. Let me go to a professional guy who has personally scouted Jung Hoo Lee, and I'll tell you what he says. All right, so let's look at the hit tool. So he basically says that Lee's hit tool is he has a level swing, and before I get into this, I want to tell you, his swing kind of reminds me a bit of Cody Bellinger. That's just me. Not his stance is a bit open, but his swing, the way he explodes on the pitch, it reminds me of Cody Bellinger. Okay, so let's go back to what the scout has said. So the scout's looking specifically at the hit tool. He's a left-handed hitter, and he goes that he has a level swing that generates good loft at times. Sorry about that. Generally, on the lower pitches, he can get underneath and drive the ball into deep parts of the field. He keeps the bat in the zone, bat to ball skills with an advanced approach at the plate for his young age. He's a pull heavy hitter, learning to use the other way. He has a loud bat, hard contact to the pull side, covers the plate well early in the count, has trouble on the hard inside fastball, lays off low away early, and that's good. That's how MLB pitchers will try to get you the chase. They'll throw the ball outside. It looks like he's very disciplined in that. Late in counts, so I'm guessing chase, but able to make contact more often than not. Swing gets long at times, and I did notice that from the highlights, but he doesn't get cheated often. Now they rate his physical description. Projectable frame, room to add strength. So he's still growing and developing. He's got long arms, long legs, high waist, no glasses, no known injuries. Okay, and KBO Bloodline's father, former MVP. I did not know that. So he's got pedigree. Pedigree is good. Body type, they compare it to similar to Michael Brantley. All right, so now let's look at the tool Raw Power. Raw Power, they says that Lee has big extension and follow through. Good lift to his swing. He generates power to both gaps, mostly pull power for now. And then they say that his power is on the way. He has the ability to add strength, add loft, and add extension. So that just tells you his game is not completely a finish. He still has potential to grow tremendously. Plate discipline. He's an extremely patient hitter who works the count, does not strike out much. He walks just as much as he strikes out, looks for the pitch over the plate, extends his arm, lays off low and away. Okay, so we're talking about a very, very advanced hitter, right? So for somebody like this, who's at the young, tender age of 25, to be there for the New York Mets, I would say that I would take a chance on this guy. I really would. I really would. So let's look at what type of contract Lee would get. It says that Lee is projected to receive a 5-year contract, projected to be around $50 million. The teams that have drawn interest or have been interested in Lee are so far the New York Mets, the New York Yankees, the San Francisco Giants, and the San Diego Padres. Those are the 4 major teams right now. So, I mean, it seems like he's got decent competition, but a guy with this type of skill set is a guy that I would be willing to give $50 million to. That's the bottom line, especially with today's market. Okay. All right, so I mean, that's basically about it, folks. I mean, like, Yamamoto is the pitcher of note. That's the guy that we want to obviously add as our ace. We need an ace big time. But it seems that we have really nobody in the outfield right now. I was suggesting a Teoscar Hernandez, but I didn't know about Lee's availability. I really didn't. I'm not going to pretend to know. I did not know much about this guy. But after reading a couple articles, after watching a couple highlight clips on YouTube, this guy really seems like a talented, viable option. And if the Mets scouting and front office feel that he could be a successful major leaguer, I don't really see other hitters that I would be willing to dole out a lot of money to. Cody Bellinger is going to be expecting a lot of money, and I'm not willing to give him a lot of money, especially since he's been up and down. He's had a decent year, but I'm just not willing to give him a lot of money. Past that, there's not much. You have Teoscar Hernandez, you have Lourdes Gurriel. Those guys are a bit older. Those guys don't have the defensive prowess of Lee, and they don't really have the upside, to be honest with you. I would sign a Teoscar Hernandez more for the DH. So if you want to sign a Lee, a Teoscar Hernandez, those two guys would help solidify the lineup. Hernandez would be a little bit more punch and pop. But, as the scout said, Lee has the ability to add pop. In 2022, he had 23 home runs, and, he's got a frame of 6 foot to 6'1", long arms, long legs. That's when they tell you that the guy has an ability to add strength and add pop. That's what they look at. They look at the guy's body type. They look at his frame. They look at his mass. They look at like what type of kind of bone structure he has. People have different frames. They have different bone structures. But according to this scout, this guy does have the potential. And folks, look at this. Brandon Nimmo has notoriously been a guy who hasn't hit a lot of home runs. But Brandon Nimmo, I believe, is 6'2", 6'3", has always had that big type of frame. So it's no surprise that Brandon was able to pop 20 plus home runs this year. So this is the type of projection that the scouts, they often try to do with these players, especially players who haven't played in the MLB, players who are coming up through the minor league system or the KBO and the Japanese leagues as well, and any leagues around the world for that matter. But we're gonna wrap it up here. I just wanted to give a quick video on my thoughts and my excitement about this option. And please, if you could give your thoughts as well, I would greatly appreciate that. As well, if you could like the video, like I mentioned, it helps out a lot. Drop a comment, subscribe. We will be coming to you with any of the latest content. I can't say I appreciate you so much. Have a great day, and I will more than likely speak to you very, very soon.